Playboy ever had a record label. So
absolutely,
when we got the whole story and figured out that Barbie Benton did it for Barbie because she wanted to sing, and then so he delegated so-and-so to be in charge of it, and then found out that you were part of it, and that was the beginning of your career.
Leon, who was your PR guy back during the Gilley'S days, he and I are friends on Facebook, and he sent me a picture of a Playmate on a bowl in your club. And he said, do you know her? And I said, I don't. She's gorgeous. I said, but we are doing this vodcast, the Bunny Chronicles. And that's pretty interesting history when he was telling me about Gilley'S and that you cut your first records with Playboy. That was your first label.
We were blown away.
It wasn't my first recording, but it was my first #1 song in the nation.
Right.
Yeah.
And you had...
I had struggled for 17 years trying to have hit songs. And I walked in the recording studio one day. The lady heard me sing a song on the little TV show I had locally in Houston. And I walked in the club one night and she said, today on your TV show, you did my favorite song. And I said, what was it? And she said, she called me Baby All Night Long. I said, yes, ma'am, that's a Harney Howard tune. And she says, I want you to record that for me. I got 300 jukeboxes. I have the jukebox here in the club. And I'm going to put it on 300 jukeboxes for you. It'll be good for you around this part of the country. And the people can hear your music, on the jukebox. And I hadn't been making records at that particular point in time. And I told her so. I said, you can get Harlan Howard's version of it. That's where I left the record. And she said, that record's out of print. Bottom line was, she taught me to go in the recording studio to record She Called Me Baby All Night Long. And for the B-side, I picked a song called Room Full of Roses that I grew up singing with Julie Lewis and Reverend Swaggart.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Your cousins.
And we were just boys growing up in Faraday, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And whether some of you people don't know this, I'm 85 now and in my 80s. And, of course, my cousin Julie Lewis is 6 months older than I am. And Reverend Swaggart's a year older tan I am. So we're all in our 80s, but we all grew up in Faraday, Louisiana.
Right.
And we all three learned to play piano and perform. And we all three had success in music, which is really ironic to think. Bottom line is, I had 17 #1 country music songs, thanks to the Playboy record division, by the way, because they broke the ice for me. Everybody else had turned me down.
Yeah, show that.
There you got it.
Oh, yeah.
Show that too.
This is with Barbie, the one you recorded with Barbie.
Well, we all three had success in music, which is really ironic to think. Bottom line is, I had 17 #1 country music songs, thanks to the Playboy record division, by the way, because they broke the ice for me. Everybody else had turned me down.
Yeah, show that.
There you got it.
Oh, yeah.
Show that too.
This is with Barbie, the one you recorded with Barbie.
Well, we need to mention the fact that
that's so cool.
The way the thing happened was, I was in Nashville, Tennessee, trying to get a record company to pick up Room Full of Roses because it was my first #1 song in the Houston market. And everybody turned it down. And I was getting ready to leave when a friend of mine by the name of Eddie Kilroy, who later became part of the record division and opened an office there in Nashville, representing the Playboy record division. And he says, he asked me what I was doing in Nashville, and I told him I was up there trying to get the recording released to a major label so they could take it nationally for me. And he said, I got a company that'll take it. And I said, who? And he said, Playboy Records. And he was sort of a jokester, and I thought he was kidding with me. And he said, come to my office. I went to the office, and he had this little 45 with the bunny head on it, threw the record at me. He said, there it is right there, They had sent him some records. And I said, I couldn't believe it. He says, they will take this record.
Wow.
And I said, really? So we jumped on the airplane and flew out to Los Angeles. And of all things, I still remember the guy's name. His name was Tom Takeyoshi.
Wow.
That was running the record division for Mr. Hefner.
I'll have to look
Playboy
into that.
record division there in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
They took the record and it came on the national scene at 75 with a star and went all the way to #1 in the country music charts.
That is so cool. That is just an amazing, again, golden nugget of history that we just retrieved.
And I love that song.
Yeah,
I love that song.
I love the
And by the way, I was in Playboy magazine too.
Oh, you were?
Fancy.
What was your year and month?